है। यही समय है कुछ करने का, इसे खोना नहीं है। A very warm welcome to all the esteemed guests and attendees who have gathered here for the webinar hosted by Disha, the Civil Services Society of Shivaji College. दिशा, जैसा ही नाम से प्रतीत होता है, का उद्देश्य है छात्रों को सही मार्गदर्शन देना ताकि वह अपने सिविल सर्वेंट बनने की सपने को जल्द से जल्द प्राप्त कर सके। The thing that holds the utmost importance while appearing for any competitive exam is initially proper guidance. When we analyzed that many students did not get selected just because they did not get the right guidance at the right time, this made way for the formation of Disha, a newer society added to the Shivaji family. Here, we guide and counsel the students appearing for the civil services examination. We have formed a group for the aspirants where we share the necessary materials, newspapers, current affairs, and test their knowledge through regular quizzes. Moreover, we are also running a successful YouTube channel where we upload this sort of content. At Disha, we provide a platform where aspirants can get a chance to make the journey a tad bit enjoyable and a lot easier. हमारे आज के इस वेबिनार में हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं आईपीएस उमेश गुप्ता सर, जो हमारे गेस्ट स्पीकर हैं, कॉलेज के प्रोफेसर शिव कुमार सहदेव और हमारे सोसाइटी के कमिटी मेंबर्स। Our college principal, Professor Shiv Kumar Sahadev. It is under his able guidance that Disha is flourishing. ये हमारी प्रेरणा के स्रोत हैं। समय समय पर बच्चों से बातें करना और उनसे अच्छे संबंध स्थापित करना इनकी एक खासियत है। इसी के साथ आर कन्वीनर डॉक्टर दर्शन कुमार पांडे सर, इन्हीं के मार्गदर्शन की वजह से ही आज हमारी सोसाइटी अच्छे से काम कर पा रही है और इन्हीं के सहयोग से आज का कार्यक्रम संभव हुआ है। इसी के साथ हम आज के कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करते हैं। नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट आवर कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर प्रबुद्ध कुमार मिश्रा सर टू वेलकम आवर स्पीकर आईपीएस उमेश गुप्ता सर।
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Umesh Gupta, sir. On behalf of Shivaji College, on behalf of Principal Professor Shiv Kumar Sahadev, and on behalf of all the faculty members, students, we welcome you, sir, in today's webinar. And it's a great opportunity for us to having you in our esteemed Disha society to motivate our students, to guide our students that how they can achieve their goals, and the way, the approach, which is very important to crack the UPSC, that you are going to tell about your experiences, about your wisdom with our students. So on behalf of Shivaji College and all the faculty members, I welcome you, sir. And over to you.
आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं हमारे आज के अतिथि वक्ता आईपीएस उमेश गुप्ता सर से आग्रह करूंगा कि वे आए और हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें, परंतु उससे पहले मैं आपको इनसे परिचित करवाना चाहूंगा। मिस्टर उमेश गुप्ता cracked the prestigious UPSC CSE in 2019 with an All India ranking of 162, having done his graduation in electrical engineering from IIT BHU. He is currently allocated to the Chhattisgarh cadre of the Indian Police Service. Sir, you are an asset to our society, and it is almost an honor, and it's an absolute honor to have you with us today. And I'm sure that everyone is as excited as me to learn about your UPSC journey. Moreover, we would love to hear from you on the topic how to prepare for the UPSC CSE examination.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes, sir, you are visible and audible.
Okay, okay. Actually, I can't see my video frame here on my screen. Can you guide me through that? Yeah, it's fine now. Okay. So first, I beg sorry that I'm a little bit late today because there is no Sunday for civil servants. So shall we move ahead with the
Yes, sir, we can move ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for such a nice introduction about me. As sir has already introduced me and my background as well, and my service cadre as well. And I am very thankful that I was fortunate enough, rather lucky enough to be into the service, and I got this opportunity to serve the nation as an IPS officer. So. This is supposed to be a question and answer session, and is everyone okay with English, or shall I go in both the languages, Hindi and English?
Sir, we can have it in the bilingual mode as well.
Yes, yes. Bilingual language will be better. I think we have students from all sections of society. So it will be, if you can choose bilingual, that will be more beneficial for our students.
Okay, okay, okay. And if I proceed in Hindi throughout, would that make any problem, or everyone can understand Hindi here?
Actually, sir, we have students from all the corners of India. So we have students from Northeast and Kerala and Jammu and Kashmir. So I think bilingual will be better. They can also get some idea.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, fine. Okay. So I'll start the discussion right from the questions that I have got, some of them. That first of all, what actually should be motivation for preparing for particular this exam? So anyone who is in college or is just out of college, has graduated very recently, they should get a bit of detailed idea about what the service is all about, because there are many people who are just taking this examination for the purpose of uh, parents sake, or for the purpose of friends are doing that, तो चलो कर लेते हैं ऐसे करने के लिए. But that should not be the reason. आपके पास एक बहुत strong motive होना चाहिए, like why do you want to join the service, right? The motivation can be anything: power, the authority that the services provide. Apart from that, the kind of work that you get to do, especially in the field, is an all India service officer or the central allied services officers, right? First comes the motivation. तो आप इतने motivated होने चाहिए कि whatever be the situation, you should be ready to face that, because the preparation is such a long duration. Exam का time ही एक साल होता है. I suppose that every audience is here familiar with the examination pattern. Can someone confirm in the chat box? Or shall I tell a little bit about the UPSC examination pattern?
So you can go ahead and inform our attendees about the examination pattern. I think that will be greatly beneficial.
Okay, okay, fine. So UPSC exam is like, it is conducted in 3 stages. First is prelims, and it is basically it has 2 papers. Paper 1 is general study based, and the paper 2 is CSAT, that is civil service aptitude test. And the paper 2 basically tests the candidates comprehensive and the aptitude abilities, especially by testing the mathematics, logical and reasoning. Apart from that, most of the questions all the questions in prelim stage are the objective type, where the 4 options are there and you have to tick the correct option. And in the mains stage, you have general studies, 4 papers of general studies, 2 papers of optional subject. There are a list of optional subject, around 17 optional subjects are there in the UPSC syllabus. Apart from that, there is 1 essay paper and the 2 language papers which are qualifying. It means that the marks are in those 2 papers are not counted for the merit list, right? So these 9 papers in the mains examination, then comes the final stage, that is the interview stage. So the whole cycle is almost 9 to 8 months. In general circumstances, prelims happens in June and the mains is generally September to October. Though due to COVID and the lockdown situation since last year, it is happening, prelims is happening in October and mains is happening in January first week. So this is the scheme of examination. Interviews goes till the next year, Feb, March, April, maybe sometimes till May. So basically, it's a complete cycle of almost 1 year. So to crack such an examination where so many candidates, so many deserving candidates are appearing, because the people from every field, be it medical, be it law, be it science, be it mathematics, be it commerce, or be it humanities, from every field, everyone is going to try for this exam. So competition is very, very, very tough. So that is why strategy is very much important for this particular examination. Now, while talking about the strategy, I'll come for a strategy as a starter. If you are in your college, maybe in second or third year, maybe in the final year, and you are planning to appear for this examination, then try to prepare to such an extent that you are able to crack it in the first attempt. I took 3 attempts, in fact 3 attempts to get this rank, and uh, in my second attempt only I could get a rank. So you should have such a plan that you are able to make it into the first attempt. For that purpose, you should start way ahead. For example, if your examination is in 2023 or 2024, so this is the best time to start with, right? For that purpose, there comes 2 ways to prepare. There is one question that is sent to me, is that whether coaching is necessary or not, right? So the pattern of examination has changed drastically, especially in last 2 to 3 years. And because of that, the UPSC, in a way, it seems that they are trying to reduce the relevance of coaching. That is why they are changing the pattern of examination in such a drastic way, where it has become more of a common sense, where your general abilities are tested rather than your factual knowledge, be it the prelims stage or mains stage. For that purpose, I would not say that coaching is completely irrelevant, but the relevance of coaching is declining every year. Please take this in mind. If you are joining the coaching, if you are covering the syllabus through the coaching teaching plan of the coaching institute, I bet that it is not sufficient. For some people, it may be necessary. For example, if you are a technical background student, and if you are not very much familiar with the topics in humanities, for example, in history, geography, polity, then it's a better idea to go for a coaching. And I would suggest that if you cannot afford moving to Delhi, you can attend the coaching online as well, because in the humanities subject, it's kind of information flow that they provide. Second most important thing is, before starting the preparation or when you are starting the preparation, have a very focused peer group. For example, if you know 2, 3, 4, not more than 4 or 5 people who are very much like-minded and very much dedicated for the preparation of this examination, that will provide you an added advantage. Because if your friend is going to study, definitely it motivates, because our mind is our mind is planned in such a way that we are very much influenced by our societal circumstances or whatever others are doing. By that mental or psychological effect, you will definitely get to study. Second thing, have some mentor, right? Be it the coaching people, be it the person who has cracked this exam, so that you do not deviate from the real demand of the preparation. For example, every aspirant starts newspaper because newspaper is an ingredient part of this preparation. What we do when we start reading newspaper, we start reading each and everything that is there in the newspaper, which is definitely not required. And we do take 3 to 4 hours of a day for reading newspaper, and we gain a very little information from there. So choose your sources very wisely. For example, you can read the newspaper from the point of view of main syllabus, not for the point of prelims, because in prelims it is very difficult to extract the information, and sometimes newspapers, be it Hindu or Indian Express, they are also factually not correct. Many times they do give wrong information. So take care this in your mind, that don't give more than 1.5 or 2 hours to the newspaper, because syllabus is much more beyond than the newspaper. Talk about the decision how to proceed for your strategy. For example, you have to choose an optional subject. So I would strongly recommend that after after consulting some people and having some interest in some topics, for example, those who are from technical background, for example engineers, computer science engineers, they do generally get to choose that which optional they should choose, because in the college or their BTech time, they do not study adequately for their technical subject, and there are very limited number of subjects. I think there are only 4 subjects which are there in the UPSC optional subject, that is electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and mathematics is there. Technical side, as far as technical side is concerned. So give adequate attention for the selection of your optional subject. So first of all, you can consult people who have qualified the exam with a particular optional, and take adequate care of your interest, because if your interest is there, you will not get bored even after reading for 5 6 hours, because optional is very very important. Optional is very scoring. If I talk about the scoring pattern of optional subject, it is around 300 to 60 to 300 out of 500, which is more than 60% marks. But in GS, general studies, all the 4 papers will not be getting more than 40% marks. It is around 100 out of 250 in one each and every paper on an average. Even the toppers don't get more than 110. So please take care of these things. After that, go to the syllabus for general study and start your preparation with those topics which are not in the prelims, rather than they are only in the mains. Why I'm telling this? The reason behind this is that in the mains examination, after prelims, there is very little time left for the mains. So if you are planning for 2023, this is the perfect time to start with. Start preparing your general study topics which are common in prelims and mains. Be aware, I am telling that if you are preparing for 2023, then start with those topics which are common for prelims and mains. For example, history, geography, polity, economy. Finish them one by one and measure your performance by test series. Sorry. What I would recommend, that take up any coaching's test series. If you are not joining the coaching, take up the test series that they are offering, the mains test series I'm talking about. they have the year-long test series of 25 to 30 mains tests, right? Take that, it will cost around 20-25K, 20-25,000 rupees, and start your syllabus on the basis of their timetable. They have well planned timetable, like after every 15 days they will take the test of one particular subject. For example, first 15 days they'll ask you to read a particular part of polity from Lakshmikant, and they will be asking questions from that particular part only. And apart from that, most of the coaching websites also provide the sources from where you can read. So in that way, if you go with a dedicated plan, then it will be easy to cover the syllabus. So basically, if you are starting a topic, just read its topic. Rather, let's say that a paper wise you can go, like GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. So let's suppose that most of the people start with polity because it is the easiest of topics in the UPSC syllabus. So in polity, GS2 covers most of the political aspect. It also has governance, it has the social justice, it has international relations as well. So if you are covering the polity part, give a reading to the Lakshmikant. And not I'll also tell how to cover a book. For example, the Lakshmikant spectrum, everywhere you will find that people are telling that polity Lakshmikant se kar lo, spectrum से मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री कर लो. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये आती है कि कर तो लें, बट पॉलिटी इज सच अ थिक बुक, इट हैज हैविंग अराउंड 800 to 900 पेजेस. कैसे कर लें उसको? इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल प्रैक्टिकली टू कंप्लीट द 800-900 पेज बुक, वो भी मेमोराइज करने के साथ में, राइट? तो उसके लिए आपको क्या करना है कि प्रीवियस ईयर के पेपर्स उठाइए. फर्स्ट पिक अप द पेपर्स ऑफ प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन लास्ट 10 years एटलीस्ट. उसमें से आपको पता चलेगा कि कौन कौन से टॉपिक्स हैं जो यूपीएससी के फेवरेट हैं. एंड फर्स्ट गो टू दोस चैप्टर्स, रीड दैट दोस चैप्टर्स ओनली. डोंट रीड फ्रॉम फर्स्ट पेज टू लास्ट पेज. Most of the aspirants that they do commit this mistake, that they try to read the book from the first page to last page. Don't do that. Complete topic wise. For example, there is a part in syllabus of GS2 that historical underpinnings of Indian constitutional development. So you need to do only the chapter 1 of Indian polity for that particular topic. And I would suggest don't make notes out of Indian polity, Lakshmikant or spectrum, because they themselves are so objectively written that it is a kind of waste of effort to make notes out of them. You will have so many things to make notes out of it. So I would suggest that don't make notes out of it. Most of the people will suggest you that first read NCERT and then go to Lakshmikant or spectrum. I would suggest first give the reading to Lakshmikant by topic wise. Then go and read the 11th NCERT, that is Constitution at Work. That will help you far better than directly going to NCERT, because NCERT में वहां पे ये कॉन्सेप्ट्स की बात करते हैं कि पॉलिटी कैसे, इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एट वर्क इसका टॉपिक ही है. The NCERT book itself says that Indian Constitution at work. How does the Constitution work? How the Indian polity basically works? So अगर आपको बेसिक फैक्ट्स अगर पता होंगे लक्ष्मीकांत से, तभी आप उसको कॉम्प्रिहेंड कर पाएंगे and you will get a better idea of it, right? उसके अलावा I am just giving example for one subject. You can follow the same for each and every paper, right? उसके अलावा कुछ ऐसे फ्रिंज टॉपिक्स होते हैं जो प्रीलिम्स का पार्ट नहीं है. जब आपने हिस्ट्री, पॉलिटी, ज्योग्राफी और इकोनॉमी खत्म कर ली है, उसके बाद आपको शिफ्ट करना चाहिए ऐसे टॉपिक्स के लिए जो प्रीलिम्स में नहीं आते. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू आर स्टार्टिंग नाउ इन अक्टूबर लास्ट और नवंबर फर्स्ट वीक, बाय मार्च और अप्रैल you should have completed these 4 topics which are relevant for both the prelims as well as mains, right? पॉलिटी स्टार्ट कर लीजिए पहले, फिर हिस्ट्री कर लीजिए. हिस्ट्री में आपको मॉडर्न इंडिया पढ़ने की जरूरत है, एंशिएंट आपको पढ़ने की जरूरत है. सोर्सेस के बारे में नहीं बता रहा हूँ, बिकॉज एवरीवेयर देयर आर मेनी सोर्सेस. कोई भी एक सोर्स रखें एंड ट्राई टू रेफर that particular source again and again. अगर art and culture के लिए नितिन सिंघानिया कर रहे हैं, do that only. Don't switch your sources because it wastes your effort. और एक और चीज मैं आपको बताता हूँ, there is a concept called picture memory. So our mind acts in our mind tries to memorize the things in a pictorial form. तो ये बुक्स पे भी अप्लाई होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने एक पर्टिकुलर बुक से कुछ फैक्ट्स याद किए हैं, दैट वुड be more entrenched into your mind if you look at it again and again. That is why revision comes into the picture. That I'll be talking about later, about that how to plan your revision, right? ये कर सकते हैं आप. पहले पॉलिटी उठाया, उसको खत्म किया, राइट, टेकिंग इनटू कंसीडरेशन प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर्स, ठीक है. देन मॉडर्न इंडिया उठाया, उसको खत्म किया, अगेन लुकिंग एट द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है. देन अगेन इकोनॉमी उठाया, उसको खत्म किया, ठीक है. ज्योग्राफी उठाया, उसको खत्म किया. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट सोर्सेस प्लीज, बिकॉज वी हैव वेरी लिमिटेड टाइम. सो सोर्सेस के लिए प्लीज यू पीपल डू टेक केयर ऑफ इट, क्योंकि बहुत सारे सोर्सेस है. मोस्टली एनसीईआरटी से कवर हो जाती है ज्योग्राफी, एंड बुक्स के लिए यू नीड टू रेफर ओनली स्पेक्ट्रम एंड लक्ष्मीकांत फॉर पॉलिटी. And economy के लिए you can watch Marunal Patel's lecture, that they are very helpful. Almost all the new aspirants are going through them. They are very lucid and they are very much he makes the things to understanding so easily. Economy में कई लोगों को, especially those who are coming from humanity background, it causes a lot of problem. So they can pursue those lectures. They are available on the Telegram, those who do not want to join and pay money. So Telegram पे available होते हैं, you can search and find his lectures, ठीक है. Then after April you can start those topics जो specific mains के लिए हैं. For example, in GS1 society is there and location factor geography का कुछ part है जो कि GS1 में आता है. World history is there. Again, I would say that don't spend more than 10 days on world history. 10 days में खत्म करिए उसका. That is not very relevant. Definitely don't leave it, again I would say, because it helps in essay writing and also giving sub examples in the historical history based questions in GS1 as well as some economy based question in GS3. So don't completely leave it, the world history I'm talking about, ठीक है. Then in GS2 there are some topics which are not in the prelim syllabus. For example, governance is there, social justice part is there, role of civil services in democracy is there. So इन topics को आप प्लान कर सकते हैं कि मई जून जुलाई अगस्त आप कंप्लीट कर लें. Again, if you are going, yeah, his name is Marunal Patel, MRUNAL, Mrunal Patel. Someone asked about the name of the lectures. Okay, so I was talking about the covering the syllabus who are not part of the prelims examination. So by the end of July or August, you would have covered these topics. And while covering these topics, try to finish your syllabus of optional subject, because please make sure that at least 8 months or 6 months before your prelims exam, you should have completed at least one reading of your optional syllabus. Whatever be the optional, if it is the technical one, you should have solved at least last 10 years questions before 6 months prelims, because you will not get time. Prelims के बाद time नहीं मिलता है. It's only about 75 to 80 days जिसमें सिर्फ रिवीजन होती है. You cannot start a new topic especially for optional. और GS के लिए आपको बहुत सारी करंट अफेयर्स की रीडिंग करनी पड़ती है, right? So strategize in such a way that till July or August you finish your non-prelim syllabus as well as optional. If you could not finish the optional, let it go till November, December, no problem. But from December, if you are giving to 2023 attempt, its prelims will be in June first week or maybe May last week. So you will have in 2020, you will have only 5 months left. So from December itself, you should start preparing for prelims, because prelims has become very dicey. Integrate the preparation of mains and prelims as well. At the same time, you should also start answer writing after completing your syllabus for means GS as well as optional. आंसर राइटिंग पहले दिन से बिल्कुल स्टार्ट नहीं करेंगे. आपने सुना होगा कई जगह पे कई टॉपर्स ने भी ये बात कही है कि द डे आई स्टार्टेड preparing, I started answer writing. In my opinion, that will not work because you will not find enough content to put on. एक बार आपका कंटेंट बिल्डिंग हो जाएगा उसके बाद ही you can start the answer writing. And there is no need of that. I must say that there is no need of starting answer writing 1.5 years back, right? It requires only 4-5 months of practice. That would be enough, right? So even if you are starting from August or September answer writing till December, January, February 2022, you can stop your answer writing. It would be better to stop by February 2022. You can refer any of the sources. One is Insight Secure is there. Second is TLP, Think, Learn, Perform of IAS Baba. They are freely available online sources. Apart from that, if you want to join some coaching, particularly for answer writing, many coachings are offering answer writing. Someone asked that why difficulty in clearing personality test. See, though it is the personality test, I agree with you, but still there is a lot of subjectivity involved in judging a person's personality. Whatever be the UPSC system that it says that the personality tests are judged by unbiased, it uses the word unbiased people sitting there in the board, but still there is some inherent biasness human being. हमारे अंदर भी होता है, like हमारी अलाइनमेंट होती है, हर किसी की अपब्रिंगिंग अलग है, हर किसी की सोशलाइजेशन अलग है. So every human being has certain amount of biasness, certain amount of inherent thinking that if matches with the candidate, they'll do good marks. So there is a lot of subjectivity. इसीलिए आपको मेंस में इतने अच्छे स्कोर करने चाहिए कि even if that particular day of interview, so-called personality test is it doesn't go well, even then after you are able to score a good rank. इसीलिए आपको मेंस पे बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करने की जरूरत है. You can't control the interview marks because they are very much fluctual. There are friends who have got 200 in one interview, the very next year they have got 130. So it is highly impossible that someone's personality gets drastically deteriorated in a span of 1 year. It is almost impossible. Still, they are rated very low marks in the interview. This is only because of the subjectivity of the interview. To reduce this element of subjectivity and the unpredictability, you need to do well in the mains. Mains is the only thing that will decide your fate in this particular exam. Okay, I got your question. I'll take up your question later on. Whoever asked this, that you are planning to attempt for 2025, right? Let me first finish this, that how to go about the rest of the papers, right? So I was talking about that till December you can till August you can finish your non-prelim syllabus and optional subject, and from September onwards you can start answer writing. September, October, November, December, January, that 4-5 months would be more than enough for answer writing, right? But do practice daily, at least 5 days a week for 4 to 5 months. In my very first attempt, I did practice around 4.5 months of answer writing, and I'm very thankful to the person who advised me to do this. Though I had not completed my syllabus completely, it was around 70-75% of syllabus was completed. Still, he advised me that to what extent and to which angle you should approach the syllabus, you will get a very good idea of it. That is why I am giving a very much emphasis on the answer writing, especially for GS papers, and optional as well if you are having humanity optional. For technical, it's only about practice. Even if you are mathematics, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, it's only and only the practice which will make you sail through, right? Next, let me come to the importance of GS paper 4. See, GS paper 4 and essay, These two are very, very important topics. Very, very important in the syllabus, because in essay out of 250, you will be getting around 130, 140, 150, when people have scored 160. So here the percentage of marks that you get is even more than 70%. That is why essay is considered one of the biggest factor in deciding your rank. So don't ignore that. And where to incorporate this practice, I would suggest when you have done enough of answer writing, at least for 1.5 months or 2 months, then you should start attempting the essays. Don't do it on a daily basis. Make a schedule every week, be it on Sunday, every weekend, be it on Sunday or be it on Saturday. Take up 1 or 2 essay, write down, get it evaluated from the person who has already given the examination, or any coaching if you are following. If you have joined the test series, submit your papers there and get it evaluated. The feedback only will make you better, and it will, don't worry, even if you're writing the worst of essays, if you are getting the 50 or 40 marks out of 125, it doesn't matter. Even you are scoring 60 marks out of 250, it doesn't matter. It should be the enthusiasm, it should be your approach to improve day by day. Improvement upon yourself. Where do you stand yesterday? You should be at least some inches ahead today. That should be your motive. So this perseverance based day to day improvement approach will definitely make you sell through. Criteria that you can write an excellent essay, वो भी सिर्फ 1 महीने या 2 महीने की प्रिपरेशन से, इट विल नॉट कम, बिलीव मी, हो ही नहीं सकता। क्योंकि आपको एक बहुत अच्छा essay लिखने के लिए आपके पास सिर्फ कंटेंट नहीं चाहिए, यू शुड हैव दैट थॉट प्रोसेस, यू शुड हैव दैट फ्लो। ठीक है, आपके पास मल्टी डायमेंशंस लाने के लिए बहुत वाइड एरियाज में सोचना पड़ेगा, एंड दैट थिंकिंग विल नॉट कम अंटिल अनलेस यू हैव अ वास्ट नॉलेज। ठीक है, जो कि एटलीस्ट आपको 6, 7, 8 मंथ्स की न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग के बाद ही आ सकती है। न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग, आई अगेन एम्फसाइज दैट न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग मींस रीडिंग द एडिटोरियल्स, नॉट रीडिंग द स्पोर्ट्स वाला पेज, नॉट रीडिंग द फर्स्ट पेज जिसमें मोदी जी वहां पे जाके क्या कर रहे हैं। दे आर नॉट दैट इम्पोर्टेंट। ठीक है, अपार्ट फ्रॉम न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग आपको एक और चीज करनी चाहिए, किसी भी यूट्यूब चैनल पे जहां लोग एनालिसिस देते हैं। ठीक है, आई यूज्ड टू फॉलो राव आईएएस, उनका एनालिसिस काफी अच्छा रहता है, RAUIAS यूट्यूब पे चैनल है उनका। एवरी डे दे प्रोवाइड एनालिसिस ऑफ द हिंदू एडिटोरियल्स एज वेल एज अदर आर्टिकल्स जो आते हैं द हिंदू में। तो दैट इज वेरी गुड। उनका, उन्होंने वो क्या करते हैं दैट अपार्ट फ्रॉम उस आर्टिकल में जितनी चीजें होती हैं, उसके अलावे भी जो आर्टिकल में दिया हुआ है, उसके अलावे जो उस टॉपिक से रिलेटेड कंटेंट होता है ना, फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अ लेट्स से देयर इज एन आर्टिकल ऑन द एंटी डिफेक्शन लॉ। ठीक है, तो उसमें बस यही लिखा रहता है कि अभी क्या हुआ, लाइक स्पीकर ने क्या स्टैंड लिया और कोई केस गया सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, बट दे प्रोवाइड द बैकग्राउंड इंफॉर्मेशन, क्यों लाया गया, व्हाई डिड द 52nd अमेंडमेंट एक्ट और 10th शेड्यूल क्यों लाया गया था 1985 में। उसके बाद 2003 में एक अमेंडमेंट आया था, व्हाई डिड दैट हैपन। ये तरह की चीजें जो होती है बैकग्राउंड के साथ देते हैं। ठीक है, तो इस तरह से आपको अप्रोच करना है। अब मैं आता हूँ एथिक्स पे, थोड़ी सी इस पे बात करेंगे। एथिक्स भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि ये जो एरिया है दैट इज वेरी मच काइंड ऑफ, ये होते हैं लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट्स हैं। एथिक्स में अगर आपको जितने भी टर्म्स है ना सिलेबस में, उसको अगर आपने एक बार समझ लिया, तो कहीं से भी आप समझिए, चाहे गूगल करके समझ लीजिए, किसी बुक से समझ लीजिए, या फिर किसी कोचिंग के नोट्स पढ़ लीजिए, या कोई कोचिंग ज्वाइन की है तो वहां पढ़ लीजिए। अगर आपने टर्म समझ लिए ना, फॉर एग्जांपल इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस क्या होता है, परसुएंस क्या होता है, सोशल इन्फ्लुएंस क्या है, ठीक है, एटीट्यूड क्या होता है, एप्टीट्यूड क्या होता है, ये सारी चीजें अगर आपने समझ ली ना, देन यू कैन अप्लाई योर ऑन नॉलेज ऑन एग्जांपल्स। हमारे पास इतने सारे एग्जांपल्स होते हैं हमारी लाइफ में, अभी बचपन से लेके अभी तक की जितनी चीजें हमने करी हैं, उसमें कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ जरूर होता है जो हम एथिक्स में यूज कर सकते हैं। एवरी पर्सन, एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग इनहेरेंटली इज एन एथिकल पर्सन। और एक ह्यूमन बीइंग की टेंडेंसी होती है, इस चीज को मान लीजिए कि हर ह्यूमन बीइंग की टेंडेंसी होती है टू डू गुड फॉर द सोसाइटी, for yourself, for the society as well. The circumstances or the mindset or whatever you call it, they only change the human being from ethical to being unethical. There are exceptions nowhere, but most of the people you will find 80% of the people are inherently ethical, right? Even if you don't follow ethics, if you don't believe in this, if you completely for a materialistic consumerism tendency. If you don't believe in ethics at all, still you have to read this topic because इसके बिना तो नहीं होगा, right? If you want to go through UPSC एग्जाम यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर द एथिक्स, ठीक है। उसके लिए बहुत सारे मटेरियल पड़े हुए हैं, बट एक है जो कि मैं रिकमेंड करूंगा, दैट इज लुकमान IAS एक नाम का एक कोचिंग है इन दिल्ली, एंड दे हैव वेरी गुड कमांड ऑन एथिक्स। तो उनका चाहे तो आप कर सकते हैं, एथिक्स बेस्ड सिर्फ क्लास होती है, और दैट इज ओनली 5-6,000 दे चार्ज एंड दे विल टीच यू एथिक्स इंटायरली, ठीक है। दैट इज वेरी गुड। ओके, सो जीएस की मोरलेस बात हो गई। अब मैं थोड़ा सा बात करूंगा हाउ टू बी मोटिवेटेड ड्यूरिंग द प्रिपरेशन, ठीक है। एंड लेट मी सी द क्वेश्चंस जो मुझे मिले हैं। ओके, लेट्स टेक अप दैट क्वेश्चन ऑफ सेकंड ईयर स्टूडेंट विद द फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट इन 2025, हाउ कैन वी डिसाइड वेदर और नॉट टू परस्यू मास्टर्स डिग्री। ओके, समवन हैज आस्क्ड दिस। तो बेसिकली देखो, अगर 2025 में अटेम्प्ट देना है, देन I think your age must not have 21 now. That is why you are planning 2025. देखो, जितना जल्दी अगर आप अटेम्प्ट दे पाओ ना, that would be the best part. Because क्या होता है कि एज के साथ आपका अगर फेलियर होता है, because it is not necessarily that you will get through the first attempt. Be ready for the failure in this particular examination, right? Try your best. Our subjectivity. To be honest, I would say that no one, not even the person who is getting the first rank. I know personally Mr. Subham Kumar, who got the first rank. I know personally Mr. Anudeep Duri Shetty, who got the first rank 2017, right? They were not. Shubham, just before the result, some days before the result, called me, and because he was already in service, so I knew him. He called me and he asked me, उमेश भाई यार कैसे किया जाए प्रीलिम्स के लिए, हमारे पास टाइम बहुत कम है, ठीक है। And he started attempting prelims papers of vision IAS papers. So he was planning to give this attempt again. तो ये सोच लीजिए, इससे आप पता कर सकते हैं कि how much subjectivity और unpredictability है इस एग्जाम में। And after 4-5 days he gets rank 1. तो कोई नहीं जानता कि what he will be getting, because there is so much subjectivity. आपको नहीं पता ना कि बाकी लोगों ने क्या लिखा है। Like मेरा मेंस का आंसर है, किसी और का अलग होगा, किसी ने कितना बेहतर किया है, no one knows that, right? It's a competition. It all depends on those factors as well, right? तो अगर आप 2025 में देने जा रहे हैं, then I would suggest कि अभी सिलेबस को मत पढ़िए, अदरवाइज कोई फायदा नहीं होगा। क्या पता तब तक सिलेबस ही चेंज हो जाए, क्योंकि it's a huge time, around 4 years time is there, right? So बेटर ये होगा कि स्टार्ट रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर, ठीक है, और थोड़ा अवेयर रहिए क्या चल रहा है दुनिया में। फॉर एग्जांपल न्यूज, टीवी न्यूज देखते हैं तो राज्यसभा देखिए, ठीक है, लोकसभा देखिए, संसद टीवी शायद अभी चेंज हो गया है, वो देखिए। उसके अलावा मतलब थोड़ा सा ऑब्जर्व करिए चीजें कैसे चल रही हैं, जो सोशियो इकोनॉमिक इश्यूज चलती है ना। हाँ, एक चीज मैं बताना भूल गया कि इस स्ट्रैटेजी में जो आपका सराउंडिंग है ना, उससे आप बहुत कुछ अपनी प्रिपरेशन में कर सकते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू आर गोइंग एट अ प्लेस जहाँ पे अर्बन डेवलपमेंट की बहुत अच्छी प्लानिंग हो रखी है, जैसे किसी ने इन्वायरमेंटल एस्पेक्ट में बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, कहीं पे बहुत अच्छा गार्डन बनाया गया है, तो उन सब चीजों से आप सीख सकते हैं कि कैसे अर्बन प्लानिंग की जा सकती है, क्योंकि अर्बन डेवलपमेंट एक GS1 में सिलेबस का पार्ट है, ठीक है। तो आंसर में आपको सीखने को जरूर मिलेगा कि कैसे किया जा सकता है। मेट्रो आज मतलब दिल्ली की लाइफलाइन हो चुकी है, तो उससे आप सीख सकते हैं कि कैसे मेट्रो अगर नहीं होती तो आज दिल्ली की पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम का क्या होता। ये सारे एग्जांपल्स आप कोट कर सकते हैं। हम बोलते हैं ना, आज क्वेश्चन आता है कि व्हाई इंडिया इज इन्वेस्टिंग ऑन बुलेट ट्रेन, व्हाई इंडिया इज इन्वेस्टिंग इन मल्टी मॉडल ट्रांसपोर्ट, व्हाई इंडिया इज इन्वेस्टिंग इन इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल। हमारे यहाँ भी ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स में इतने पीछे हैं, डिस्पाइट दैट व्हाई आर वी गोइंग फॉर सच एम्बिशियस प्रोजेक्ट्स, इतने सारे पैसे क्यों खर्च कर रहे हैं। तो उसमें आपको सोचने को मिलेगा कि हम आज से नहीं, आज से 20-30 साल बाद की प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं, राइट? नॉट फॉर द इमीडिएट बेनिफिट। तो वही चीज कह सकते हैं, 1995 जब मेट्रो की बात चली थी, तो मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल वर अपोजिंग इट, दैट इज द वेस्ट ऑफ मनी ऑफ द पब्लिक फंड, लोगों के टैक्स के पैसे का वेस्टेज है। बट सी हाउ बेनिफिशियल इट इज नाउ, और बहुत सारे सिटीज में कॉपी किया जा रहा है उसको। अगेन द सेम थिंग अप्लाइज फॉर द बुलेट ट्रेन, इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल एज वेल, ठीक है। सो दीज थिंग्स यू कैन गिव इन एग्जांपल। से इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल पे क्वेश्चन आ जाता है तो यू कैन राइट देम, You can quote these examples in the essay as well. तो ऐसे ही थोड़ा सा अपने ना like keep your eyes and ears open, like whatever you are listening, ठीक है. और प्रॉब्लम्स की बात करते हैं, कई जगह प्रॉब्लम्स आइडेंटिफाई करने की बात आती है, जो दिल्ली में ही देख लीजिए. इवन स्वच्छ भारत का इम्पैक्ट, स्वच्छ भारत मिशन का अगर क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस करने को बोला जाए आपको, यू शुड बी एबल टू आंसर दैट. इतना दिक्कत नहीं होगी. अगर आपने अच्छे से ध्यान से देखा होगा, जब आप पहले रेलवे स्टेशन पे जाते थे तो हर कोई गुटखा खा के थूका रहता था वहां पे, कभी सफाई नहीं होती थी, ठीक है. उनके पास कोई इक्विपमेंट नहीं होता था, सिर्फ हाथ से झाड़ू लगाते थे. बट अभी सब कुछ सही है, ठीक है. तो क्यों हुआ वो? दैट इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, बिहेवियरल चेंजेस. लोगों में एक तरह से एक इनिशिएटिव लिया गया. लीडरशिप का बहुत बड़ा रोल आता है इसमें कि मोदी जी ये कह दिए कि नहीं अब सब सफाई रखेंगे, तो सबने किया. लाइक ब्यूरोक्रेट्स को उन्होंने, बड़े बड़े आईएएस ऑफिसर्स से लेके मिनिस्टर्स लेके, एवरीवन वाज ऑन द रोड क्लीनिंग, होल्डिंग द ब्रूम. तो झाड़ू लेके जब वो साफ कर रहे हैं तो लोगों को भी लगता है कि नहीं सफाई रखनी चाहिए, राइट. ये सब चीजें, अवेयरनेस बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है, ठीक है. अवेयरनेस एक चीज और आती है. अगर आप कर सकें तो प्रिपरेशन में हो सके तो मेडिटेशन, योगा वगैरह पे थोड़ा काम कीजिए, बिकॉज इट विल हेल्प यू अलॉट, स्पेशली improving your awareness level. Awareness is the biggest thing that a person can have. Awareness के बिना आप नहीं कर सकते कोई भी. Whatever you do in your life, if you are aware each and every moment, there is a high possibility that you will make the least mistakes. So mistakes कम करेंगे तो obviously you will do the good things, right? So that was it for 2025. I think you can start by 2022 end the preparing the syllabus, right? And the next question I have, what are the pros or cons of being a non-humanities student as UPSC aspirant? I would say there is no cons, there are only pros and pros, right? Non-human, be it non-humanity or humanity, सबका थोड़ा थोड़ा फायदा होता है, ठीक है. For example, in prelims examinations, CSAT paper becomes a cakewalk for the technical background students. Right? For humanity people, it gives an added advantage in the GS preparation, in optional preparation. For example, if someone has done graduation in political science or masters in political science, he or she can easily take up political science as an optional subject. तो ऐसे केसेस में आपको हर किसी को कुछ एडवांटेज है और डिसएडवांटेज कुछ नहीं है. सी एवरीवन, हमारे आर्सेनल में जितने वेपन्स है ना, हमें उनको बेस्ट यूज करना है. इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट व्हाट वी डू हैव और वी डू नॉट हैव. व्हाटएवर वी हैव, वी शुड यूज इट टू द मैक्सिमम एफिशिएंसी, मैक्सिमम यूटिलिटी. ये आपका थॉट प्रोसेस होना चाहिए. अगेन द थॉट प्रोसेस is very important for this exam, क्योंकि आप every day it seems that it is impossible. When you look at the syllabus, when you start reading, when you do answer writing, you will see that there are people who are doing excellent answer writings, but still you have to compete with them and you have to overcome them. So that self belief is very much necessary, right? So there is no disadvantage. Can you explain cadre system? How can we get our home state for this service? See, that is very complex system. So I think you people please don't dwell on this cadre system, because see, it's all about fate. Where will you land up? No one knows that, right? So be open to serve anywhere in the country, or even in the, if you are interested in foreign service, be open to serve anywhere, right? If you are craving for a home state or some particular cadre, it would be very difficult, right? Though I do understand that we all go from the same phase, that we want to serve in our own state, but am I audible continuously or was there any break? Sir, can you confirm that?
No, sir, you're audible. You're clearly audible.
Okay, it is going smoothly, right?
Yes, sir. Don't worry.
Okay, fine. Okay. What is the best way for a beginner to prepare for optional and NCRT at the same time if we have 4 years? Okay. See, if you have 4 years, I would say definitely you would be in college. So give your attention, and if possible, if you could develop that interest in your particular subject on which you are graduating, that would be the best part. I have seen people who have taken the optional is the same subject on which they have graduated. उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा किया है. They do extremely well, because वहाँ पे added advantage होता है. आपने इतनी reading कर रखी होती है. Even in some topics you have done a lot of research reading, so that gives you added advantage, no doubt about that, right? So NCERT is very easy to read. I mean, for 4 years, if you are reading, हाँ, NCERT के बारे में एक चीज बता देता हूँ कि it is not necessary to read all the NCERTs, right? Do ask the people like me or anyone who have just cleared the exam. They will better tell you which NCERT to read or not to read. For example, geography, you should read from 6th to 12th class all the NCERT. There is no doubt about that, right? But if you are reading the Majid Hussain for geography, if you are reading the GC Leong for geography, then you don't need to go for 6th, 7th, 8th NCERT, right? But if you are relying completely on NCERT, then you should read all of them. For geography, 11th, both the NCERTs, India Physical Environment and the World Physical Geography, both are must for this exam. Without them, you cannot be very much sure that you will be able to write good answers or crack the prelims questions. Questions are directly asked from there. GC Leong, this book, yellow color book is there, that is very famous, and especially its second part, it is divided into 2 parts. पहले part में वो basic geography की बात करता है और second part में it gives थोड़ा सा वो क्लाइमेट वगैरह के बारे में बात करता है, तो इससे काफी अच्छी प्रिपरेशन हो जाती है अपनी ज्योग्राफी, राइट? तो एनसीईआरटी हो जाएगा, डोंट वरी। एनसीईआरटी, अगर किसी को कंफ्यूजन है ना कि कहाँ से स्टार्ट करें, तो वो सीधे एनसीईआरटी उठा लो, ठीक है? ज्यादा सोचना ही नहीं है, किसी भी सब्जेक्ट का उठा लो, पढ़ डालो उसको, ठीक है? एनसीईआरटी पढ़ने में वैसे भी मजा आता है। आई मीन इफ यू सी, आपको रीडिंग के लिए एक तरह काइंड ऑफ अफेक्शन डेवलप करना पड़ेगा। इफ यू आर नॉट लविंग योर रीडिंग, I don't think you will enjoy the process of this preparation, because it's very long and tardy process. So if you can enjoy, that would be better. That would be the best thing to cover the syllabus. What does a candidate look like? Does it affect the marks of interview? I mean, what the competition is? Okay, I'll answer these queries. Please excuse me for 2 minutes. I have an urgent call to attend. Sorry for interruption. Am I audible, Raghav Gupta sir?
Yes, sir. You're clearly audible.
Yeah. So can someone please remind me what I was talking about? Okay, we were taking the questions, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You were taking the questions.
Okay. Okay, someone has asked that what mistakes we should avoid on our first attempt and whether coaching is necessary. Coaching part, I think I have addressed in the initial as well. See, coaching is absolutely not necessary, but if again, I would say if you are from a technical background, it does help. It does help, that I cannot negate. It does help in understanding the demand of the questions, because people those are teaching there, they are going through the papers of the UPSC exam each and every year. So they do have decent idea that what is the need of examination. Though there are some other teachers as well who do not give adequate attention to the what is the need of the exam in recent trends, especially after 2017-18. तो ऐसे टीचर से थोड़ा सा बच के भी रहें, अदरवाइज आई वुड से दे मिसगाइड यू पीपल. तो आई वुड से कोचिंग के लिए देखो जा सकते हैं. हाँ, वन मोर थिंग, इफ यू आर हिंदी मीडियम स्टूडेंट इन योर स्कूल डेज, तो आई वुड स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड गो फॉर अ कोचिंग. It will definitely help you out. But if you have been a throughout English medium student, because writing the exam in English, I would always recommend that it is advantageous, क्योंकि English में materials बड़ी easily available होते हैं. For Hindi medium student, it becomes difficult to get the relevant material, right? That is the main problem. That is why you would be seeing that Hindi medium students are not getting selected in a large number, right? So it's up to you what language you choose for writing the exam. But I would recommend English if you can develop that skill. Learning English is not that difficult. If I talk about myself, I was a Hindi medium student till class 12th. Even I appeared IIT JEE in Hindi medium, और उसके बाद मैंने IIT JEE क्रैक किया, और उसके बाद I learned English in the college में भी उतना नहीं सीखा, but after college itself, while during this preparation of UPSC, I did learn a lot of English, especially through the newspapers. So for those who want to have a better command in the language, I would say that don't take it as a सब्जेक्ट, टेक इट इज अ लैंग्वेज. जैसे हम हिंदी सीखते हैं ना, हम यूजुअल बात करते हैं बाकी लोगों से, तो इन इंग्लिश try to bring your thought process in the subject which you are going to write in the examination. हमारा माइंड क्या करता है कि हिंदी में सोचता है, then we try to, or whatever be your mother tongue, if you are having some other Telugu or Tamil, usually our mind does try to think in that particular mother tongue itself. That is such kind of conditioning we people are having, especially the Hindi people. I would say that we try to think in Hindi, then we are trying to translate it into the English and put it on the paper. It becomes difficult, and it does eat a lot of time, and it becomes difficult to utilize the maximum of your time. So try thinking in the language in which you are going to write the exam, right? Okay, mistakes to avoid our first attempt. See, most of the students, first mistake that I talked about is reading the newspaper and giving the newspaper too much importance. First, वो avoid करना है. Second, आंसर राइटिंग नहीं करना. थर्ड, सिर्फ प्रीलिम्स पे फोकस करना, मेंस की तैयारी प्रीलिम्स के बाद चालू करना. ये दिस इज द ब्लंडर व्हिच मेनी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स कमिट. और फिर वो साइकिल जो है ना, सी इफ यू आर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर मेंस, there is no point clearing the prelims, because it is almost impossible to cover the syllabus of mains in those 2.5 or 3 months. Even if it is 3.5 month time, you cannot complete the syllabus. That I can bet upon. Until unless you have covered at least 70-80% of your syllabus of optional and GS, right? उसमें भी क्या होता है कि अगर आपकी decent preparation है, it is not up to the mark. तो उसमें क्या होता है, if you get an interview call by just a margin, let's say for example 780, you are getting 781. Even if you are getting 200 marks in the interview, you will not get that good rank. It will be last in your rank, especially if you are in general category. तो उसमें क्या होता है, then again you are in that particular vicious cycle of pre-mains interview. After interview you have very little time for prelims. After prelims you have very little time for the mains. So please avoid that. Pre से पहले आपको fully prepare होना चाहिए. Sir, till what time can we proceed?
Organizer, please update. I think you can continue for some more time.
Okay, fine. What are some expectations of interview board from an aspirant who wanna be an IPS officer? See, most of the people, they have first preference as IAS, Indian Administrative Service. But there are many people who give IPS as the first preference. So see, this can go both ways. Like, if you are well prepared, why do you want to join, and why have you given a preference which is not according to trend? then you can get a very good marks. But for the sake of getting the marks in the interview, आपको कभी भी ये चूज नहीं करना चाहिए कि मुझे किस सर्विस में जाना है. Decide as per your aptitude, decide as per your aptitude, और एटीट्यूड आपका किसी सर्विस के लिए लाइकिंग है उसके बेसिस पे. देयर आर पीपल हु डोंट ऑप्ट फॉर आईपीएस, देयर आर पीपल हु गो फॉर आईआरएस बिकॉज दैट्स अ काइंड ऑफ बेस्ट जॉब, राइट. तो आपको वो देखिए कि आपको करना क्या है लाइफ में, व्हाट डू यू वांट फ्रॉम योर लाइफ. ठीक है, किसी को आईएएस ही चाहिए, ठीक है, किसी को ऑल इंडिया सर्विस चाहिए. फॉर एग्जांपल पीपल एस्पायर फॉर आईएएस, इवन आईपीएस दे गेट, दे थिंक दैट ओके देयर आर मेनी स्कोप टू डू वेल इन द आईपीएस, राइट. So I hope I have addressed your query. What kept you always motivated? See, for me it was like यार एक चीज तो ये था कि I come from a very rural background, and I have seen very closely these people, especially the administrative and police service, working together. For example, they are doing many things for the tribal society. Many are coming with new initiatives. Even the police people also, they are organizing fairs, competition. So kind of community engagement is so much that I used to love. So मुझे लगा कि I can give best, I can give back best to the society in this way only. ये था. And I contacted some senior IAS officers. So उनकी lifestyle, उनका काम करने का तरीका, the way they used to get the recognition and the respect in the society. For example, देखो अगर आप एक IAS IPS ऑफिसर है ना, आप जो भी बोलते हैं उसका एक अलग वेट होता है. For example, if you want to do some good, if you want to do some, if you want to bring some change in the system, वहाँ पे भी आप पोस्टेड हैं. ठीक है, अगर एक नीचे का कोई ऑफिसर या फिर जनरल पब्लिक बोलता है, वट एवर रिच ही बी, बारिंग दोज सो कॉल्ड बिलियनियर्स, वो लोग चाहे तो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, करवा सकते हैं टू द एक्सटेंट, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल उनकी नहीं सुनते. बट देयर इज अ ड्यू रेस्पेक्ट इन द सोसाइटी. वहाँ पे आपके पास अपॉर्चुनिटी है, आपके पास अथॉरिटी है, आप चीजें इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, एक अलग किक होती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल नई चीजें मिलती रहती हैं. तो वो मेरे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा मोटिवेटिंग फैक्टर था. एंड राइट आफ्टर द 12th क्लास आई वांटेड टू बिकम अ सिविल सर्वेंट. और वो मतलब इतना नहीं सोचते थे कि क्या होगा कैसा होगा, राइट. तो सी यू हैव टू फाइंड योर मोटिवेशन. किसी के लिए प्रेस्टीज हो सकता है, किसी के लिए रेस्पेक्ट हो सकता है, किसी के लिए पावर हो सकता है, अथॉरिटी हो सकती है, किसी के लिए जो सोसाइटी के लिए काम करने का डेडिकेशन है, अपॉर्चुनिटी हो सकती है, वट एवर बी इट, बट मोटिवेशन चाहिए. विदाउट मोटिवेशन यू कैन नॉट वर्क upon the clearing this examination. ठीक है, आपको थोड़ा सा पुश करना पड़ता है, आप इजीली नहीं कर सकते. like you need to go that extra mile each and every day so that you can improve, right. This is the toughest question. Do civil servants get enough time for themselves or to do things they are interested in? Definitely they do get time, but it all depends on the posting, kind of posting you are in. For example, आज संडे होता है, but in IPS there is no Sunday or Saturday, no festival at all, right. But it doesn't mean that you are 24/7 working only. It's not like that. There are people working for you. You have to manage the things. Most of the time it is about the decision making, और आपको management करना होता है. Then you get time for yourself if you are efficient enough to manage the time, right. You have to be on your toes, no doubt about that, but still वहाँ पे टाइम निकल जाता है, ऐसा नहीं है. एंड देयर आर सर्टेन पोस्टिंग्स लाइक पीपल प्रीफर द कूल ऑफ पोस्टिंग्स, हेडक्वार्टर में पोस्टिंग ले लेते हैं या फिर थोड़ी सी रिलैक्स वाली पोस्टिंग ले लेते हैं. सो it depends a lot on a person because there are so many 5,000 IAS, 5,000 IPS people, 10,000 of population of our country working for the nation and day in day out. So it doesn't matter कि टाइम नहीं मिलता है या नहीं मिलता, एक किक मिलती है जो कि that keeps you going. So I would say कि it's all about the aptitude. If you want too much time, आपको Saturday Sunday आपको off ही चाहिए. If you want it compulsorily, then I would say this is not the place for you to be in. क्योंकि यहाँ पे ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. It's not like corporate, you will get each weekend off, right? So there are situations when आपके पास long holidays भी मिल जाते हैं, like for 1 week you can take off, छुट्टियाँ ले सकते हो. So it's up to person to person. So this ends the questions which I have got. Apart from that, let me see the chat box. some people have some queries.
Uh,
Yes, someone is speaking there.
yes, sir. Sir, I
Yes,
don't
sir,
think.
please proceed.
No, I was actually saying I think we don't have any more questions from our students. Thank you so much, sir. It was very informative and very nuanced perspective on CSE preparations in general. Thank you so much for that. And now I would like to welcome Dr. Prabodh Kumar Mishra to extend a vote of thanks on behalf of the college.
Thank you, Raghav. Before proceeding for the vote of thanks, I think, Umesh sir, I have sent one question, one query. It's not a question, it's just a query on your chat box. Can you address that? That is very important issue. And I always wonder that how one can learn ethics in 4,000 and in 2 and 3 months, how one can be capable of, installing ethical values in among students. So always I pass through Mukherjee Nagar and Rajendra Nagar, I get hoardings that they show that you can learn ethics in 5,000 rupees. You also very much quoted about Lukman's IAS study. It's not only about cracking UPSC. I just want to know about the real ethical values which must be there with the civil servants. So can you focus on that a bit?
Sir, I completely agree with what you said, because it is, I would say, it is impossible, completely impossible to inculcate the ethical values in a particular human being within a time frame. Leave it for 1 or 2 months. It is almost impossible to inculcate all the ethical values in even a year or two, because it is the complete process of socialization and the upbringing through which a person goes. Apart from that, the institutions of socialization through which he or she passes, for example, right from the childhood pre-primary education to its middle age school, colleges, peers, family, the society, the environment in which a person lives in. So it is outcome of complete wholesome experience a person is having. For example, if I can have a different perspective for a particular issue and you can have entirely different perspective for that particular issue. I was basically talking about, sir, that for this particular exam you need to know certain terms. For example, how to inculcate the quality of persuasion. For
Yes.
example, if you can persuade someone for some particular thing. For example, if an IPS officer, I'm going to the field, people are protesting there, they're sitting on the road. How can I be able to persuade them that your concerns will be addressed? You please vacate the road because it is causing a lot of problem to the general public. Those values are cannot be inculcated, that I am pretty sure, and I completely agree with you, but it is required in this process of examination. There are certain values inside every human being which we cannot put on the paper if we are not aware of certain terms. For example, we have attitude. I have a different attitude for a traffic. For example, I hate Indian traffic. If I say that I hate Indian traffic, you can have a different attitude that yes, in our country the traffic is good. So that particular attitude is inherent to both of us, but still for putting it into the paper we need that particular knowledge, that what are the components of attitude, that is affective, cognitive and behavioral component. For that purpose only, for knowing the syllabus is very much important, and getting the concepts which are required to put into the examination. I agree with you that you might have heard that one officer in the service was caught cheating in this particular UPSC examination itself, and unfortunately, it happened that that particular person was the topper in the ethics paper the very previous year when he got through. So it is impossible to test one's ethical standard just by a paper. But yeah, definitely, I would say that the syllabus is designed in such a way that it becomes successful in inculcating some of the values. For example, when we read emotional intelligence, prior to reading the syllabus, many of us are not even aware that what
Yes.
basically is required for emotional intelligence. That it talks about that being aware of yourself, being aware of others. And for awareness, you need to have presence of mind, you need to have a calm mind. And again, it leads us to a better lifestyle, having a good routine, having a disciplined diet, having a disciplined sleeping pattern. Apart from that, it also motivates us to do some meditation so that we can control our mind, so that our mind is uh, very much mindful of the present circumstances. I hope I addressed your query, sir.
Yes, yes. Very much. Thank you. Thank you for your elaborated discussion and answer. And see, this ethics is very important. A few days back, I was invited to All India Radio to speak on environmental ethics. So it was a 15-minute discussion. So I was there. So I was discussing about the ethics, environmental ethics. But until and unless you have you inculcated ethics within you, you cannot be very thematic that you will be very much what we can say, very much concerned about your environment and all. So it has to be come from within. Then only you can follow the ethics, whether it's environmental ethics, whether it's anything. Anyway, thanks for your discussion, and I'm very happy to have you in our college. Actually, I'm also one of the alumni of BHU, so I was when I was more happy to have you. I have also completed my graduation from BHU. Then after that, I shifted to Delhi University and completed my master's PhD from here. So thanks a lot on behalf of DISA Society, the Civil Services Society of our Shivaji College, our principal, Professor Shiv Kumar Sahadev, our convener, Dr. and Professor Darshan Pandey, our whole faculty members, non-teaching members, and our dear students. On behalf of each and everyone from our college, I propose a vote of thanks to you. And from your busy schedule, you got the time to motivate our students, and you have almost gave a very nice idea, and you have solved all the question and queries of our students. And they are young Turks, they have different types of questions, they have different types of imagination. So many times we as an academician, we don't have that perspective to fulfill their uh, emotional needs and intellectual needs. So that's why we time to time we invite experts from industry, experts from various UPSC services, so that they can be they can keep their track updated and they can learn in a better way. So I thank you again, sir, for your valuable time and your cooperation. And in future also, we'd like you to join and motivate our students whenever you feel time. We will contact you, and we will keep you updated about our progress also, that how our students are doing. So on behalf of the whole Shivaji family, I thank you again. Thanks. Over to you.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you, sir. Uh, Sir, I'll chip in for a few minutes. It was a nice experience. In fact, the queries that I had got, they have come from those inquisitive minds. Definitely, they have a lot of questions which cannot be addressed in this short span of time. But whenever we talk about these preparation and the kind of effort that this examination requires, it opens up many avenues for the students, especially those who are in colleges. So I'm thankful to to you and your whole team, so that you invited me for this discussion. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We would also like to inform our attendees that we have posted a feedback form in the chat box, and we would heartily request all of you to fill that form so that we can improve and we can host such informative sessions in the future as well. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. It was a pleasure having you all. You may leave the meeting now. Have a great day ahead.